heavy there for a second. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of TNT Tabletop. We're once again going to be jumping right back into where we kind of left off yesterday. Uh, so, the adventure that we had was we had an outlaw and a prospector going through a mine, and shortly into the mine, they found all the clues they found what they were looking for. They were looking for the uh, a rich section of darkstone inside the mine. They found like what 6 pieces of darkstone, and fought a couple of wraiths. Found a dead body that freaked out the outlaw, and ran into like noxious gases. And for a short 4-room adventure, quite a lot happened. So I'm very vested at this point in these two. So I'm thinking I'm going to carry along and continue the story. So normally we would go through like at the end of the episode yesterday we were talking about what would happen next after the adventure. We would go through a travel phase and then go to town and then spend money and do whatever you need to do in town until I get a campaign ready with more players. I'm gonna kind of just stick to this whole, I'm just going to play just these static characters and just keep them running until they die and then pull another one out. um, but anyway, so what I suspect is what I'm doing is that I'm going to be grabbing the next mission in the book, which is the exploration mission. Which basically what it is Darkstone. You had to go. Uh, Still a little confused on the rules for the exploration one, but in the Darkstone one, you had to find X amount of clue tokens to advance and eventually find what you're looking for. In exploration, it's a little bit different. We start with a T junction, and I'll read basically everything here in a second, but we're really just going from room to room. I'm a little bit nervous about this one because at least the one with the token, you're kind of constantly following one path till you find what you're looking for, and there's always going to be a path. In this one, there could be a dead end. Now, at some point, if I take a left and I follow that around and we run into a map tile that has only one way, chances are it's going to be basically the end of that tunnel, and I have to turn right around and go back the other way, which could take multiple turns to get back to the T junction. A little bit nervous about that, but figured we'd have some fun. But anyway, so as far as exploration, the this is basically how it reads. You have been hired by a foreign investor to investigate and explore a claim that he's just purchased in the area. He will pay you well if it pans out to be half as good a deal as he was led to believe. All you have to do is see how big the mine really is and clean out any unsavory squatters that have moved in. Sounds simple, right? It always does. So the setup of this is the mission starts with the mine entrance, as per usual, leading directly to a T junction, which we have. All heroes start on the mine entrance map tile as normal, so I chose the 2 front spots because, of course, I want to get closer to this as possible. The mission goal: the heroes must explore the entire mine, not including the gates they might find along the way, and defeat all enemies they come across to successfully complete the mission. So the special rules are: there's a limited amount of doors. I need to get the exploration tokens. All exploration tokens with a clue icon have one less door gate on them, hero's choice. Anytime you reveal an exploration token, roll a d6 for each door/gate icon on the token. On the roll of 4 plus, ignore the door gate icon. While the hero posse marker is in the middle stage of the depth track, ignore on a 3 plus instead. While the hero posse marker is in the last stage of the depth track, ignore all door gate icons automatically. So the further we go, the less likely there's going to be any doors. Okay, that's interesting. So dead end showdowns. Whenever a dead end room is found, which is a room map tile that has no exits, roll a d6. On a 1, add an epic threat to the exploration token. 2 through 3, add a normal threat to the exploration token. 4 through 6, there is no extra threat here. Immediate dread for this mission. All growing dread cards are revealed immediately when drawn, rather than being placed on the stack. Ouch. So the objective is once the heroes have explored the entire mine, all paths lead to dead end rooms. If a room has only gates as exits, this counts as a dead end. They must defeat any remaining enemies on the board to complete the mission. So basically, we don't have to go through gates. I want to go through gates. Oh, D&D bros, what's up, guys? Is this Devin or Dustin or both? So I might actually change this back to a few Darkstone more because I actually kind of want to. I want to show you all how cool it is to go through portals. We didn't get to do that yesterday, so I'll just put this away and I'll just go right back to for a few Darkstone more. So this one's just generic, going through a dungeon, exploring, finding. We'll do it larger this time. We'll do a medium deposit, so we'll have to find 3 clue tokens in order to advance and complete the mission. Need to get that over here. So we got the setup. We have the players. I need to get the exploration tokens, and I will be right back. Here's hoping that this time we run into a little bit more, specifically the portals. And let me go ahead and set this to the general view here. This thing still works, right? Hell yeah. All right. So, we'll do exploration on another day. Again, I'm trying really hard to get the portals working. I'm hoping that we can get a portal this time. It'd be nice. I would love to have a portal. I want to show the animation. I want to show the process. Can't do it in exploration because, of course, we don't want to go through a portal because that's not part of the mission. So, all right. I need to stop saying so many times. But anyway, what we're going to do is start this mission. Uh-huh. And there we go. Okay, so first things first, per usual. We start with initiative order, and it's going to be just like last time. The outlaw is always first because he's initiative 4, and the prospector's initiative 2. So we're going to start with the outlaw. The outlaw, I'm going to have him first roll to see if he gets his grit. He gets to roll 2 dice on this. Nope. So I'm just going to move him up 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to. Could spend my grit and just haul ass up there. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna spend his grit. Actually, no, I'm not going to. I'm gonna go ahead and let him roll for scavenge. I want to see if he can find any weapons or items. See how well he does. Not so well. So that was his turn. His movement and his action. Next is gonna be the prospector. Again, I'm gonna roll for his grit. He only gets to roll one die. Nothing. And he's going to move up four. One, two, three, four. And I'm also going to let him scavenge this room. He has a special rule where he is allowed to roll one extra die on his scavenging. And not rolling well. So that's the end of his turn. The prospector is going to be holding onto the lantern. So he has to make all the rolls for darkness checks, and people need to be on the same where adjacent map tiles him. Otherwise, they take darkness rolls. Where I think it's like D6 darkness hits. Not fun. So we're going to go down the initiative. I should have done this a long time ago. Do this for a second. There we go. 7 plus for the hold back the darkness. We got it. We got an 8. No doubles. That's good. So we're safe for now. And we're going to go back to the outlaw. Again, the outlaw's going to check and see if he can get his grit. Nope. He'll move up his 2 and then peer through the room. And what he finds on the other side... I shuffled these, right? You know what? There. What he finds on the other side of the room is the werewolf den. We go dig for that. Actually, for the sake of speed, I need to divide these differently, so I'm going to go ahead and look for one that's at least in an expansion. Okay, long passage. Uh, well, bros, yes and no. And is this Dustin? Well, yes and no. There's a whole mess of rules in this game, but as long as like you got somebody who knows what they're doing, they can just kind of piece it together as you go. Like a buddy, Tom and I. What's up, buddy? But Tom and I used to play this religiously, like on the weekends. Spend an entire Saturday playing this for 12 hours straight. And on the weekdays, I'd come home from work and just play like 3 hours, 4 hours worth, basically enough for a dungeon. But we got so good at the rules that it would take us what was normally a 3 hour run would take us like an hour. Because at that point we just knew how to roll, we knew where to go, we knew all the rules. The problem is that since then they've added 2 Kickstarters. There's a fourth one coming out, and along with those Kickstarters are all these additional rule sets, and there's all these new classes, all these new rules for every single class. It's a little overbearing, but there's so much content to this game. It's amazing. I love it. But I need to find a long passage to add to the base. That is in the Tredarin set. There it is. Pretty much. Like, I'm gonna say, once you get like a lot of the basic stuff down, like the turns, who goes first, the monster's initiative order, the death track, and how all that works. The death track, I kind of tried my best to build it into the stream so that you can just kind of go down the depth track every time you find a room. Which, speaking of which, we found A room doesn't get an exploration token because it's a hallway. Full rooms get exploration tokens, but hallways just kind of advance you down the depth track. And the further you go down the depth track, the harder this gets. And that's the posse marker that you just saw go down to from 16 to 15. The other one, the blue one, is the darkness track. And what happens with that is that that's basically like the evil and the darkness deep inside the mind trying to come out. The more it comes out, the more daunting the game starts getting. It starts throwing darkness cards at you. The worst part, growing dread cards at you. And once it escapes, if it hits 16, it's over. The mission's done. Like I've never once had the darkness. I've never once had that many tiles on the game board, but it can get pretty wild. Dustin, I'm gonna say this: if you loved Massive Darkness, this is like to me when I don't have D&D, Shadows of Brimstone is my fix because it's giving me what I love from Massive Darkness. Because I know you love Massive Darkness. It gives me what I love from Massive Darkness: the dungeon crawling, the looting, the scavenging. There's like all these things you can do in it. But on top of that, you're still getting a role playing element where if we play a campaign, we create characters. I mean, yeah, like I got character sheets, but you basically just kind of jot down all the information from the character card on your character sheet, create a name and whatnot, and we actually play a campaign where we're going from mine to or not even mine. We're going to other worlds, locations. We can be in like a Mad Max setting in the blasted wastes. We could be like in an Event Horizon setting on the derelict ship. Uh, but we just keep going through all these missions, going through all these worlds. Once you're done, you travel back to town, sell all your crap, and revive characters if they died. You know, basically it's like Diablo, but in a old west setting. And but they've also added like Asian mythology and well, I think I've already told you the Norse mythology kind of stuff and Spanish conquistadors in the last Kickstarter. But I honestly think like because it's the miniatures, it's like Massive Darkness, but a lot more in depth. I feel like whenever you have a game where you actually create your own character and you're leveling them up and you have a actual like skill tree that you can follow, I just feel much more engaged in that, and that's why it's like whenever I play a board game, if it's I do like playing Arkham Horror and Eldritch Horror, Death May Die, Massive Darkness, and all that. They're fun, but I'm like I just feel like I get so much more out of this, especially the adventuring because you get these cards called encounter cards, and basically this is your version of a DM. Random things are happening in the dungeon, in the overworld that you're in, and these cards kind of tell a story as you're adventuring. So, for example, if if this wasn't a hallway, this was a normal room, I could have thrown like this guy right here. I was originally going to use this card, but it's I need to organize my tiles. I don't know where this one is, but if it was this guy, we would actually put an exploration token on it, and it could be telling us that we've run into a couple of encounters while there. And next, like yesterday, for example, the first room that had two encounters, it was a room that was full of like this noxious, like this gas, and it totally screwed up my prospector. But it did more than that. It did like damage to him, did all this stuff. It was pretty wild. And then the next room after that, we ran into a dead corpse, which freaked the hell out of my outlaw, caused him to take like 4 points of sanity damage. But anyway, so there's an awful lot to this game. I think I already told you that you can get mutations during this. So you do have health, you have sanity, and you have corruption, which both of them have a piece of corruption. And I think it was because the wraiths, or it might have been the gas. But either way, as you generate more corruption, you could grow like an extra limb, a quado, um, or there could be some things that just straight up debuff you. There's some that are noticeable and not noticeable. So like when you go back to town and they see and the townsfolk see that you have a mutation, you're already kind of wanted. And there's rules for being wanted while in town too. For example, my outlaw, he's every time I go to a town, I have to roll to see if he's on the if he's noticed. But there's so much to this game, but it's just so much fun, and I think the other worlds just adds that extra flavor to the adventure, just making everything different. It's not just mining, because when I first picked this up, it was just the mines and two worlds. It was basically a tundra world and a jungle world, and as cool as that was, just felt limited. But now it's like we have three Kickstarters worth of worlds. I don't know. There's a ton. But anyway, back to it. So we peered through this room. It's not a full room, so I can't put an exploration token on it. That was his turn to look to peer through. So now I'm going to have the prospector, whose initiative is 2, and I'm going to have him move on up. I might as well have him go all the way. And I'm going to have him do a scavenge in that room to see if he can find any items. I have to roll for that. He gets 3 dice instead of 2. Nothing. He was good last time. So he moved up, did a scavenge. Oh, he had to roll for grit. He had to roll for his grit. Nothing. And how grit works is kind of like fate points. So you get to re-roll any number of dice you just rolled. But in this game, you can only ever re-roll a set of dice once. You can't go any past that, unless you have a special rule that lets you. And there are some classes that have that. There are 27 classes right now, and then the new Kickstarter is going to add probably another 4 or 8. So that's the end of the turn. So here we are. The darkness is going to try to escape. So let's roll and see if the lantern stops it. It's 2d6 from the prospector holding the lantern. That was a 7 plus, right? Yeah, so 6, 7. So we're good. We are good. So we're at the beginning of the next turn. The outlaw is going to go ahead and roll for his grit. Nothing. But he's going to go ahead and move up 1, 2, 3, 4 and do a scavenge. Nothing. After him, it's the prospector. I wonder if there's a way to automatically do that. And he's just going to move up and also, once again, peer through the room. Now, like I said yesterday, working with limited space right now, I might be able to make this work. But I'm working with limited space right now, so like once we move to this tile, I'm probably gonna get rid of this guy so I can center things. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and peek through that room and see what it is. The boiler room. It's probably from the base game, but we are going to the boiler room. Okay. So the entrance is coming from there. There's 3 doorways. And we'll set down an exploration token because that's what he's spending his turn to do. And it's the end of his turn, so now it's time for the exploration phase. I should probably add that when it reaches 0. So we luckily found 8 clue tokens, so we're 1 out of 3. And we get a darkness and an encounter and 2 doors. So we're going to roll to see which 2 doors are ones that are going to, which doorways are going to be the ones that are going to open up. We'll roll 1 at a time. So 5. So this one and that one. So this one's closed off. I'm going to get my tokens. Here are my unfinished doorways. I swear one day I'm gonna jump on stream and just paint and hang out with y'all. I miss paint sessions. I used to do them all the time back when I played 40k and well, fantasy 40k. Didn't play much fantasy, but 40k I loved. And then Warma Hordes. At least that's what they called it. I mostly played it as a Hordes. I played as Legions of Everblight. But I loved painting more than I actually played the game. 40k, though, on the other hand, I don't know, there was something about putting a whole giant army on the board and just seeing it all painted and just kind of taking all that in. So that happened. We need to draw a darkness card first. My second favorite type of card. Oh yeah, I need to do this. Hold on, sorry. I need to bring the Mines card back up. There's no special rules for the Mines, but Mines will just have it up. And we'll bring in a darkness card. Oof. Detected. Oh god. All ambushing enemies are +2 damage on their attacks in the first turn of the fight. Whenever a threat card is drawn, roll a d6. On a roll of 1 or 2, it is an ambush. Are you kidding me? So anytime a threat card is drawn, it has a chance of being an ambushing enemy. This mine sucks. Alright, we'll put you to the side. I have to remind myself every time we have a threat. They could be ambushing. And then we need to draw an encounter card. So there we got it. It's called Rock Slide. And it does not look fun. Rusty metal shoots protrude into this chamber, most likely used to funnel loose rocks from mining down into the waiting mine carts. Now the whole... Really? This is the... That's interesting. The boiler room. It's falling apart. Now the whole area seems unstable. As you pick your way through, rocks begin to fall down and down the chutes. Dislodged by your movements. Look out. So everybody needs to make an agility test and a strength test. So agility 5+. So both characters. Oh, the prospector has no agility whatsoever. So we'll start with the outlaw. He's got 3 agility, so that means 3d6 at 5+. Turn the volume down. He passes. And Prospector with his 1 agility. Nailed it. Okay, so if passed, gain 20 experience as you avoid the worst of it. If failed, take d8 hits as you are pummeled by rocks. Good God, that would have nearly killed the outlaw. So 20 XP apiece. Again, if I was playing as campaign characters, I'd jot that down, but I'm just kind of rolling with these guys until they die and I start with somebody new. Then Strength test, something that the prospector is really good at. So strength 5 plus. So we'll start with the outlaw. This is starting to be a really good campaign, or a really good mission. Hexa, what's up, buddy? How you doing? And I'm gonna go ahead and roll for the prospector. He's got a 4 strength, so he should be able to pass this. Doing well, bro. Just finally getting the stream rolling. Played yesterday, had a pretty awesome mission today. Kind of came in here and rolls aren't doing well, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if the outlaw and the prospector survive this whole thing. Been staying up later than normal. I haven't seen your stream. Have you been streaming still? The prospector passed. Okay, so what happens is, so the prospector passed. Find something buried in the debris and pull it free, so he gets to draw a loot card. The outlaw gets nothing happens. That's funny. Oh man, I guess I missed you because like I jumped on and I was like on until I think like about 3 or well Central America time 3 in the morning. Usually you're on around that time. I guess I just kind of I might have dropped offline as you were probably beginning to stream, but been hoping to come around and hang out again. Uh, so anyway, he gets to draw a loot card. It's Eastern is 1 hour ahead of well, Central is 1 hour behind Eastern. So it would have been 4 o'clock Eastern. Yeah, that I logged off and tried to go to bed. So he got 1 extra Darkstone. So that means from yesterday we now have 7 Darkstone total, and 20 XP. But I'm not gonna write that stuff down. Ah, okay. Yeah, I've been trying to go to bed like at around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and because like I want to stream earlier in the day, but a lot of things have been happening. Been getting going back to the gym, and that's been kind of keeping me up. Because you know how it is when you hit the gym, right as soon as you get out of the gym, you're all amped up and energetic. So good luck sleeping. Got to lose some of this that I've gained. I'll have to keep that in mind because I do want to drop. I want to drop around again. Kind of miss hanging out. Want to see what Hex is up to. If he's staying excellent. I know he is. So we drew a loot card. We got the Darkstone. It was his turn. We did both the Darkness and the Encounter. It's the end of the turn. And now, am I doing this right? There we go. Hold back the Darkness roll of 7 plus. Oh, and I need to drop down the depth chart again. That's good to know, buddy. Wouldn't expect anything less. So the prospector is going to roll his hold back the darkness. That's it's an 8, so yeah, we passed. Back at the beginning of the turn, we have those two entrances. That one's probably going to be closer to get to, so I'm just going to march our guys over there. So the outlaw's going to go first. I'm going to have him roll for his crit. Would love to have one, and he does not get it. So I'm just going to move him up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or actually, hold on. 4. They can actually move through each other, so I'm good with that. And I'm going to have him scavenge. So it's 2 dice. I am not making any of these scavenge rolls. That's the end of his turn. We're going to move on to the Prospector. He's going to check to see if he gets his grit back. Almost. And he's going to move up. 1, 2, 3, 8. Man. Can't move through this. Did I screw up with this guy? I think I did. 1, 2, 3. So not quite yet at the door. So I'm just going to have him. I guess I could spend some points. I'm just going to have him do a scavenge. Nothing. Mad Arts, what's up, bro? Got Hexa and Mad Arts in the room. Good to see you, fellas. And how you doing, Mad Arts? Saw you playing Elden Ring last night. And then going back to and then going back to Schedule 1, then back to Elden Ring. Moose and I played like Schedule 1 for quite a while. Well, I think it was like 2 weeks we were playing. It was a lot of fun. Then we just kind of jumped back into Repo and all these other things. Hey, no worries, bro. Geek and I just wanted to make sure that everything was fine on your end. Like, Geek seemed to know more about the Steel Series compatibility. So it was good that it all cleared up, man, because that echo made it, I don't know, for me, like, I have a hard time focusing on things, so when I'm hearing an echo, like, it made it difficult for me to hear you, but I'm glad it got all sorted out, man. So, where was that? Moved up, we did that, we did Roll Back to Darkness. Did we do Roll Back to Darkness? No. It's all good, bro. So, it's the end of the turn, so we have to do a Hold Back the Darkness roll. I should probably get rid of those cards while we're at it. So we'll do a Hold Back the Darkness roll. So the Prospector is going to go ahead and hold up his lantern and prevent the evil from... Oh my god! Okay, so... First off, rolling doubles in this game, not a good thing. Secondly, rolling double ones in this game, it's a really bad thing. I already know what it is, but... Yeah. And since we got this beautiful darkness card that I pulled out, that is gonna screw. That's gonna screw with us big. So basically, what happens on a one? I'll pull up the sheet just the same. Let me see if I can dig it out here. There we go. And that sound's getting a little loud at moments. Speaking of which, I should probably give a shout out right now before I forget. What you're hearing in the background is Sirens, Sirenscape, and it's an amazing ambient sound app. They even have music embedded, and you can control every little aspect of it, how much it comes in, how the volume of every sound. They have basically like all the D&D like core campaigns, like with all the sounds and music that you need to go with those campaigns. It's I used it. I've been using it for like the past year, and I can't express how awesome it is to have an app that's that simple to use. I definitely highly recommend checking it out if you ever plan on playing board games, anything where you're all around a table just having fun and you want to add ambient sound to it. Sirenscape is an amazing app for that. So big shout out to those guys for making that application. But let me take a look. It's in here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so I rolled double ones, and in rolling double ones in the mines, it is an ambush attack. So we already have the rule from the darkness card that was basically saying any attack at this point we have to roll and see if it's an ambush. Well, this is just an ambush in general. Ambushes are not fun. There are fiendish creatures and demons in the dark places of the world. Ambush attack. Draw a threat to immediately ambush the heroes. So let's do this. We're only playing with two characters. We're still at level one because I'm not playing a campaign or anything, so I'm not leveling them up. So we're going to go ahead and draw us a monster card at low level. Oh, and I better put that away. D3 Bone Eaters. Huh. I've never fought these guys before. So we'll go ahead and pull up their card. Type it in. And we're going to be fighting normals. And they're called Bone Eaters. And there's their card. Find a place for you one day. And we need D3 of them. Oh, they look like they're pretty nasty with the special rules. So we're going to fight. Wait, it's D3, not Peril Die. Sorry. Well, it couldn't have been that one. So we're fighting all three. I'll be right back with the models. If I can find them. Oh. And as I said, the further we go down this dungeon, that's America's ass. Right? That's the line? Oh, it's an ambush. Oh, this is terrible. Okay. So I'm going to put this over here. And I'm going to line this up best I can. Probably someplace that's not being covered. I need to find a way to do this better. I It's well appreciated, Matt Arts. I'm gonna roll to see which one they are chasing after. So there's three of them. So the first guy's gonna go after the first one I roll for, as we did yesterday. The outlaw's gonna be on a roll of 1 through 3. The prospector's gonna be on a roll of 4 through 6. So the first one's going after the outlaw. It's always the outlaw. The second one is gonna go after the prospector. And then the third one is going after the outlaw. That's the random rules. Oh, these guys are nasty too. Blind senses. While at least one bone eater is on the board, all heroes gain noise markers for taking certain actions. Huh. Guided by noise, bone eaters prioritize targets by who has the most noise markers and will not target attack a model with zero noise markers. Well, if I remember correctly, the noise markers thing is it's basically on guns. So they're going to be after that outlaw. Maybe the sawed-off shotgun might be a good choice against these guys. This way I can inflict wounds. No, only does one. How much health do they have? 10? This is a boss fight. Wandering. While bone eaters are the only enemy type on the board, heroes may explore, look through doors, and scavenge during the fight at the end of any turn. Remove any bone eaters from the board that are not within 18 spaces of a hero. They're immune to critical hits. Let me see if I can find the noise rules. I think it's this one. Ugh. Should probably have this out. The lantern rules. Correctly, noise is only made reducing guns and explosives. Yep, yeah, it is. I gotta admit, that's the cool thing about this game is all their rules, all the little rules they have are on these little mini cards. So noise status effect. I find it hilarious that it specifically got the drawings of these monsters. Um, when in a fight with an enemy that uses noise, noise markers, heroes gain one noise marker when they do each of the following: move 3 or more spaces, unless it's stealth, making attack or casting a spell. Wow, so even if you're swinging your heavy pickaxe, I'm guessing. Making a free attack, one extra if attacking with a gun, using a side bag token, making a skill test or scavenge roll. Every hero may remove d6 noise markers at the start of their activation, and an extra d6 at any time an explosive goes off. See, I'm wondering if there's rules to let this like just kind of walk away. Because if it's is it 3 or more spaces? It's interesting. I'm gonna have to look more into how noise works because part of me's thinking you just slowly walk away from these guys and leave them be, but I'm gonna attempt killing them. Uh, my heavy pickaxe should do plenty of damage. Yeah, I should just play as a bunch of prospectors. The only problem is that if I do use my outlaw, he is going to draw all of them, which might be a good thing. I might actually leave them out. But that 10 health is ridiculous. They don't do too much damage. Well, they do a lot of damage, but the chances of hitting you are kind of small. And immune to critical hits. Only one defense. They give some decent experience. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in this fight. All right, so look at these bad boys. Instead of using instead of using the tokens that I've been using yesterday, I figured I'd use. I bought these for a reason, and it's time to use them. So here we go. They all have 0 wounds on themselves. So next up, they are initiative 2, so they go at the same time as the prospector. And per usual, game rules are if a monster and a hero character are the same initiative, the monsters always go first. So that sucks for the prospector, but I think they're going to be chasing after the outlaw. in the end, they're going to be chasing after the outlaw. He's going to be pew-pewing too much. And I'm going to make sure he does that. What's their movement? 6. They're going to catch up to him. Uh, so maybe I can back him into a corner and avoid being hit by all 3. No, it's not going to happen. Unless I can get the prospector over there. Yeah, I'm in trouble. Where the outlaw's in trouble. But I still have 2 revives, so we can make this work. Okay. Uh, so first is going to be the outlaw. Okay, we did the exploration token. We did the. That's how we got this going on. Okay, so that didn't go. The death track didn't go anywhere because we rolled doubles. You always ignore the depth track on a double roll because usually awful things happen. And I'm gonna make the outlaw, since he's got Hitman, he can actually move through models during his movement, and he gets +1 move. So I'm gonna have him just kind of want him to get them off. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So they can charge after him, and maybe I can throw dynamite with the prospector if I can get them all curled up in the corner, which is what will happen because the outlaw's gonna die. So the outlaw's gonna move away, and he's gonna pop 6 rounds into the bulbous ass of that bone eater that was next to him. And first, I'm gonna check. Should have done this earlier. Check his grit. Nothing. And want to use a pistol or the shotgun? Shotgun does more damage. He ignores critical attacks. Chances of me, well, I might be able to do more damage with the pistols, considering he's only got 1 defense. Yeah, I'll fire with dual wielding pistols. So, looking around for dice, and I keep forgetting I have it on this app. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll 66 because I'm dual wielding 2 outlaw pistols. Of course, when you're dual wielding, crit rules don't happen, but it doesn't matter on these guys anyway because they ignore crit rules. So, firing 6 shots. I'm gonna spend a grit to re-roll 5 of those because I need a 5 plus to make this happen. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's statistically correct, but on 2 rolls, come on, bro. Okay, first shot on him. Whenever I roll -1, still may have extra stuff to make this better. Oh, I had to make an escape test before I did all that. I forgot. They were holding me down. Their escape test is a 2 plus. Not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and roll that. So, if I would have rolled a 1, I would have had to go back because I forgot I had to make an escape test while I was surrounded by those guys. So I'm moving away. Shot. 2 shots hit. Gonna roll for damage. Yeah. Let's see. Probably gonna be putting both shots on that one guy. Oh, that's a good hit. I think I killed him. That's 11 damage. Well, 6 and 5, so 5 and a. Ooh. Oh, don't they have anything? What did the darkness rule have? +2 damage on their first round. Ouch. So I rolled a 6 and a 5. So the 6 is now 5, the 5 is now 4, so he is down to 1 health. So he's got 9 wounds at 10. Not quite kill him. That sucks. So after his turn, it's now theirs. Now, Hexa, I rolled extremely poorly on my combat rolls. Like, really bad. So, I almost killed the dude, and that's what I was hoping for, at least to drop one of them, but at this point, I think the outlaw's about to die. Well, they only get 1 attack, but if they do hit, it hurts. So, he's going to move here to the corner. So he's got 4 noise tokens on him because he shot twice. Yeah. So all 3 of them are on him. He is their target. Thanks, bro. But I do get 2 revives, so at the end of the round, well, actually, once he dies, I can kind of bring him back. Since I'm only playing 2-player. If I played 4, I'd only get, up to 4, I'd get like 1 revive. And then 6-player, just straight up, it's someone goes down, they go down, unless someone can revive them or bring them back in some way. But so anyway, I'm gonna have these guys. They all have +2 on their damage. Well, the first guy is going to attack the outlaw, and he only needs a 4+ to hit. Did he have any other special rules? No. That's interesting. For each noise marker. Oh, wow. So they're getting +1 combat, +2 combat. Hold on. They also gain +1 defense and +1 combat for each noise marker. Oh God. Yeah, he's gonna die. So they went from 1 combat, and since he shot twice, and gunshots are 2 noise markers apiece, they're attacking 5 times a pop on this guy. Yeah, he's dead. So we'll see. The first one's attacking. That's 3 hits. Let's see if his defense can avoid these. He takes 1, but it does 6 damage. Ouch. 2 hits. Actually, 2 hits could actually just kill this guy right now. I'm in danger. Yes. Very much so, Hexa. Very much so. He regrets taking this job. So he's got 6 wounds on him now. So he's at half health. The next one's going to attack. Again, he's got 4 noise markers at 1 combat. So he's going to do, again, 5 attacks against the outlaw. I'm beginning to see that this was all a bad idea. He strikes with 3, just like last time. And the outlaw is going to attempt to dodge out of this. He gets hit by 1, and that takes him down. And so that's the end of the monster's turn. The revive brings him back. And now we're down to the prospector. Now the problem is that these guys, their defense... Actually, would dying remove the tokens? If I remember correctly, dying removes all tokens. So he would lose the noise tokens. No. I think the noise tokens go away at the end of the turn, but if dying... Yeah, if you die, the tokens should go away. So the noise tokens are off of them, so these guys are now back down to normal. The prospector, this guy's got the 1 health on him. I'll leave him for the outlaw. First, I'm going to roll for grit, see if the prospector gets a grit back. Please do. One, two, three. Right, 1, 2, 3. And he's going to clock. It's going to give him one noise marker. He's going to clock the Bone Eater with his heavy pickaxe. Here's hoping I roll a 6, 7, or 8. Actually, no. Here's hoping I roll an 8. I would like to do double damage, please. Oh, that would be so nice. But I still get +1 on my damage rolls with the pickaxe. So, roll a d8 for hit. I mean, it hits. And I can change the target that I'm going to attack with on that hit. I might just take that one out. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put that hit on this guy. And honestly, he should be dead no matter. Oh, that's a 6. Does d8 damage on the pickaxe. So, oh god. So that did a solid 9 points of damage. Minus the one, he's dead. So the Prospector, well, actually, the Outlaw would have gained some experience. So going back to how experience works is on these guys in particular, since they have so much health, anytime people do damage to it, they gain that much experience. So the Outlaw had 2 hits. Did what, 5 and 4? So one hit would have given him 10 plus 5 times the 5, which is 25. So it would have given him 35 experience, and then the second shot would have given him 30 experience. Prospector, all he needed to do was 1 damage. It would have given him 15 experience for killing this guy. So I really love how they do the experience in this game. I feel like it really balances out because there have been so many games where it's like, I will beat the living hell out of something, do all the damage, but leave it with like 2 or 1 health, and then someone just comes in and pinches it and kills it and gets the rewards. It's like in this game, it's like everybody's kind of rewarded in the end, and at the same time, you're getting experience based on how well you're doing. They did a really great job at that. It's kind of hard to beat how they did the leveling and reward system in this game. So, now that that dude's dead, the Prospector has 1 noise token on him. So he would actually be their target right now, but turn's pretty much over. And we are going to, let me put this away. Turn is over. And now we have to make a hold back the darkness check at 7+ again. So the Prospector's pulling out his lantern and once again trying to hold back all the crap that's happening during this battle. Oof, that was a close call. So we got a 9. We're good. We're safe. On to the next battle. So we're down to 1 revive, and we have both our guys up. The Outlaw, feeling very confident with his last bout with the pistols. He's going to dual wield those suckers again. I would drop dynamite, but these guys ignore crits. And I kind of rely on dynamite crits. Although I think dynamite ignores defense in general. But either way, the Outlaw is going to crack both pistols into the bone. Pull them up here, the Bone Eaters, and let's do this. He's first going to roll for his grit, see if he gets his grit back. Please, for the love of God, I need it. No, okay. And he's going to fire 6 shots into these guys. Can't really tell. Some of them are lying over each other. Oh, there we go. Okay, so he gets 2 hits. No, he gets none. Dude, he is rolling piss. Do I have anything? Huh. Not a single hit. Dude, this Outlaw, for being point blank, has terrible aim. Their turn. So, he's got 4 noise markers on them, and they're once again going to swing at 5 attacks a pop. Oh, God, that's horrible. So the first one, 4 plus. All right, and he's going to make his defense roll. Is it 2 1s again? I think he just died. Again. Yeah, he did. Because he does 6 damage. He didn't avoid either one of the attacks. That's 6 damage apiece. He's got 12 health. Down again. Okay. I need a plan. I mean, statistically speaking, well, I guess on 5 pluses, I should at least be getting 2 dice. I might just pull out the shotgun. These pistols are doing nothing. God, it sucks though, because they are so good. So that's the end of their turn. He went. He hasn't made any noise, so he's kind of ignored, right? Yep, will not target or attack a model with no noise. The noise markers go away at the end of the turn, so he's got nothing on him while they're going. So I guess it's really good to be slow and have low initiative against these guys, because they will just go after who was before you, and then you can just come in and slap them around. So the Prospector's going to go up, and he's going to take a nice hefty swing with his pickaxe. First, he's going to roll for his grit. He gets one. And again, grit is basically like fate points. You get to re-roll any one of the die that you've just rolled. You also get to spend it on certain items. Like certain items have special rules, or characters have special rules using grit. They can be pretty awesome. And as you go down the skill tree, there's even more. Heal wounds, sanity. I should be using that. So, getting +1 for my damage on this. I get to roll a d8. If I roll 8, then whoever I'm hitting is dead. I'm going to spend a grit to re-roll that, because that does not hit him. This ain't going well. So he swung once, all that stuff, nothing happened. He whiffed. Level 1 characters, am I right? So that's it there. It's the end of the turn. Let's see what awful things. That's a great idea. I should do that. I should definitely program that into this. Have everything go off screen when I need to do the initiative. Okay, so we go down. And once again, hold back the darkness. Mighty Prospectors rolling. We failed. So the darkness is 1 step out of the dungeon. Not bad, not bad. With all the rolls that we've been doing, we've been kind of fortunate. So at the beginning of the turn, oh yeah, that's right. Beginning of the turn, he should have revived. So we have no more revive tokens. I'm probably gonna have him pull out. I really want those pistols to work. I'm gonna do grit, and I really desperately want these pistols to work because I would do so much more damage, considering that they're at 1 defense right now because at the start of the turn those noise markers went away. Oh, so Hexa, this is a board game I'm extremely passionate about. It's called Shadows of Brimstone, and what it is, it first started off as a Kickstarter that had. It was originally like an old west theme, as you can tell with the mines and everything. Go ahead and move that over here. Oh, now I remember why I have it there. Anyway, it's an old west themed board game that over time just kept growing. Uh, but basically, take a whole bunch of sci-fi movies, Lovecraftian horror, and there's like a Asian mythology to it, and all these other different themes, Norse mythology to it. Uh, they basically combined all this into this game and gave us all these different types of monsters, locations. Um, One thing I'm trying to do this stream is I'm trying to get a portal open because I want to show you all that it's not just the mines. We go to different worlds, and when we go to different worlds, we fight different types of monsters. It's crazy, but the whole point of the game is really not like an end game or anything. It's there's a whole bunch of different missions for you to do. So, like right now, I'm playing the base mission just at a higher level of difficulty. And what it is we're just going through, we're going into a mine and we're trying to find what they're called dark stone. So what happened is that in the old west, all these portals started opening up and all this stuff called darkstone started growing inside these mines, but along with it was this thing called the darkness. And what it is that it's stuff that's pulling out of the mines and destroying the countryside, towns. And how how you complete your quest, whether you fail or succeed, changes the outcome of your travels. So here we are doing this mission. If I fail it, when we come out of the mine and we go to town, some buildings might be destroyed, or might be a void tornado that comes through. Some stuff like just it's there's a lot to this game. It's hard to find a game that actually is this very involved. There are some out there that are like this, but or have some mechanics like this, but this is like your ultimate board game dungeon crawler, in my opinion. There's well over 100 different monster types. There's also some big bads. I'll bring them out. I didn't show them last stream. Yeah, check it out. And I'll be honest with you, Hexa. If one of these days I might stay up late because I'm just like right now I'm just kind of playing around with the stream, testing it out, and I'm more than willing to stay up late one night if you and anybody else wants to play, and I'll host it, and we can do it on Discord, and we can just we can stream and play on Discord, and I'll just have this feed on Discord, and then we can play if you're up for that. Because I'm also trying, like, as much as I enjoy playing this game, I kind of want to push this out to the public to show people how fun this really can be. But I'll be right back. I'll grab some models and show you the big bads, and the camera's gonna follow me, of course. But there's some what they call XXL bosses. They are in this box here. Yeah, all of them. And we'll get back to this. I just need to remember where I'm at. We're at the start of the turn. So, whenever you draw epic monster cards, I mean, if you want to, man, we just need to negotiate, find out a time. Because right now, my plans are all over in place and scattered. I'm not exactly working right now, but so that's why I'm kind of doing this, just on my free time, expressing this and having fun with it. But I definitely want to get some people involved, and I've had Moose jump in, and he's been playing it with me on occasion. But now that I'm streaming it, I'm like, well, why not? Let's get some people involved. And uh, what I would like to do is when we get followers in, I would like to have them come into the Discord and sign up to play. It'd be a lot of fun. And then when we get to that point, I want to skip this and go into character creation where we actually create custom characters and actually, you choose the name of your character and you actually level up and choose what skills you want to do. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. One dungeon where we're trying to like yesterday I only went through 4 rooms and I think it took me the entire stream session, which is 3.5 hours. And just to get there, it took forever. Well, I probably the first hour is me just explaining a lot of things, but either way, like there's a lot to explain as we're going, and there's gonna be a lot of questions, and I'm more than happy. Like, of course, I'm gonna answer them. But another thing too is that there's so many rules that occasionally I'm gonna have to pull the books out and kind of remember. Yeah, to be honest with you, just give me a decent time because I start. I'm trying to start at 2 p.m. Central, so 3 p.m. Eastern. Um, but I can start it whenever. If we need to, we can start it later in the day for me. We can start it earlier in the day for me. I just need to find a decent spot, and then we can kind of set something up and get a group of us together and play. Would love to do that. It would be a blast. And there's 27 different classes, just FYI. So, but anyway, so as you see, these models here, how small they are, these are the sizes of the big bads, the XXLs. They take up. Mad Arts, what's up, bud? But they take up an awful lot of space, and they don't follow the normal uh, tile rules, so they can actually be like off the grid. Yeah, he's giant. He's gigantic. I kind of wish they did. As much as I love this model, that's cool, right? That's a pretty badass looking model. The only thing I don't like about it is that this arm really isn't part of what tiles it's using. So I kind of wish they just had him standing straight or something and like looking like he's about to pummel somebody instead of having this arm reaching all the way out. Because just imagine like trying to move your model around this thing. But yeah, that's a huge model. And like, if you actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and pull up their cards just for fun, just to show you all. So, as you've seen, this is the monster card. That's generally how big they are. Normally, you don't see as many. A bit well. The more Kickstarters and the more monsters they've been releasing, yes, we've been seeing this abilities chart fill up. But when the game first came out, you didn't see this many abilities. It was very basic. It was like, oh, okay, maybe he did more damage than normal. Um, all right, Hexa, I'll see you in a bit, bro. But that's the size of the regular cards, of regular monster cards. This is these guys. Yeah. So you have your XXL monster. Just the top of the screen shows you how many spaces it takes up, and then of course all the rules that go along with that. So fighting an XXL monster is insane. I've done it once. I've lasted one turn, and I actually was against this very guy right here, Belial. Which I can, if you want to see his model, I can bring that out. But he has this shadow deck. I don't remember how this guy goes in there. I'll figure it out later. But he has this. I guess I'll have to dig around. He's in here somewhere, but he has this shadow deck, and he just. He has this shadow deck, and one attack did like I just all I know was that it was like an insta gib on the guy I had. It sucked. And the good thing, the thing that's fun about this game is, let's say we ran into that and we're level one, we could just be like before the combat even started, just be like, we're just gonna turn around and leave. Yeah, we don't have to fight them. Because that's the whole thing about this game is that it brings a lot of random events, a lot of mystery, and it's very horribly unforgiving. So even if you're just crawling through the dungeon, at the beginning of any turn, your team can get together and just say, "Hey, we're gonna die. Let's leave," and that's it. You fail the mission. The darkness escapes the dungeon and destroys the countryside, and you have to deal with that when you go back to town. But hey, so anyway, back to the game. Um, I think I rolled for the Outlaws grit and I failed that miserably, but I really want these pistols to work really badly because that sawed off is nice, but it's just not gonna do anything. And these guys only have one defense right now, so you know what? I've been rolling so bad with him that I am determined that these pistols are gonna do something this time. Please. statistically, this is just stupid. Uh, how many dice have I rolled so far? So I've rolled 6. So 20. Was it? Is it 24 sets of dice, and I've only passed 3? I mean, if those were in the rules, Mad Arts, I agree. That would be great. Um, there is dynamite in the game. It's a side bag item, and when it goes off, it actually ignores their defense bonuses. Um, the problem with it though is that if you don't roll well on your range for it, it can actually deviate and change where the dynamite ended up. It's happened before where I've seen it bounce back at the player who threw it. It's pretty hilarious. Sucks, but it's hilarious. So the pistols, once again, I think I got one hit. There was a 5 in there, right? Yeah. So I did get one hit. They only have one defense. I'm popping it on this guy, and they're gonna kill. They're going to kill the outlaw next turn, guaranteed. 3 damage. So this douchebag has 3 damage on him. Next is their turn. I might as well just flip the outlaw over. I'm sure he's dead. But once again, because he shot with his pistols, they now have 5 attacks. Because they are here to murder anything that makes noise. What do they need? Put that away. Is that not working? Interesting. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, so here we are. Bring him up. And he's a 4+ melee, so let's see how well he rolls. Oh, God. I'm rolling really good for these monsters. So I need to make 4 defense rolls against his attacks. And what? The outlaw dodged the attacks. Let's see if he can do it against the next set of attacks from the other guy. 4 of those hit. So we'll see if he can make 4 dodge rolls at 4+. No. But he only took 1 of those hits, which does 6 points of damage. Oh, wait, nope, that was only on the first turn. So now it only does 4 points of damage. So, there. That's +1 defense in combat. Okay. The crappy thing is that now that he's still alive, their defense is a lot higher. I'm going to use this on. These pistols are just sucking. So he took 4 points of damage. Automod. I don't know, like the outlaw's been useless since I played yesterday, Mad Arts. But I got to admit, he's been no, he's been a poor tank. He's died twice. He's used all my revives, but this round he kind of he did a good job. So now they are a +4 defense because of the noise markers. So therefore they're 5 defense. I need to roll an 8. So first things first, Prospector is going to come up, and I'm going to check his grit roll. Well, at least I still have a grit. And I'm going to have him roll to attack on the guy in front of him who only has... I mean, I was all proud of him for making those saves because that was pretty amazing. But the more I thought of it, I was like, well, yesterday he was useless. Today he's useless. The prospector this whole time has been kicking ass. I'm like, I should have just had two prospectors and called it good, or tried another class. There's a lot of classes, man. Um, there's like samurai warriors. There's daimyo, and there's if you're familiar with Killzone on PlayStation, basically it's the Hellgast, but it's like a group of mutants that are basically Hellgast, and what else is there? Oh, there's the Norse and the Spanish conquistadors. So he's gonna roll. Prospector's gonna use his heavy pickaxe. It's a hit. I really want to do double damage though, but I'm gonna take this because I could roll crap as I have been. So that's a hit. It would have been a crit, but crit rules are ignored by these guys. Man, that sucks. So I'm gonna roll damage, and it's +1 because of the melee, the bonus that I'm getting from the pickaxe. I'm gonna re-roll that. The Tony rolls are happening. You're seeing it. You're witnessing it right here. This is me in D&D. So +1 damage. Their defense just completely soaks up all the hits from that. Now they are a defense 6. Well, either way, it's the end of the turn, and they're not going to do anything. So, end of the turn. Oh my god. How many turns have we gone through now? Okay, I need to program it to put these away. Come on now. Just hide. Um. So again, we have to hold back the darkness. I am so sorry this is taking forever. I would have figured that by now. I'm half tempted to just drop dynamite at the outlaw's feet. Maybe it'll take them down. Because if it goes off, wonder. Oh. Anyway, so 7 plus 10. We did not make that, so the darkness is one level closer to escaping, and we now have to draw a darkness card. Another darkness card. Whoops. Unknown Frontier. Whenever the hero policy marker enters a blood spatter space on the depth track, every hero currently in their world takes 3 horror hits. Okay. I'm going to have to fix that on the depth track because I totally forgot that. I need to keep track of blood splatter spaces and growing dread spaces. I can easily fix that. Yeah, I can easily fix that. I can just recolorize those red and yellow. Yeah, we're good. So, oh boy. We are not quite on our. I might just re-roll that because I don't have that on the depth track right now, and now that I'm seeing this, I'm gonna have to redo the depth track on the stream. So demonic assault, I need to fix that too. All demon enemies are +1 initiative. They also gain +1 combat for every point higher their initiative is than the target. Ooh, ouch. probably jot that down. All right, so we're at the beginning of the turn again. The outlaw is going to roll for his grit. So close. Yeah, screw the pistols, dude. It's making them too powerful, too strong, and I want the prospector to hurt them. So I'm going to use the sawed-off shotgun, which would still give them a +2. Maybe I should just have him toss his weapons aside and just start smacking them. I mean, his chances of hitting it are a lot better with his fists. That'll give them a +2 defense. Use the D8 roll. I don't want them to get +2 defense. I'm gonna use the sawed-off shotgun. So it's a range 3. There, he's in range. One shot with a D8. Criticals are on 6, 7, and 8, but of course they ignore crit. Beautiful thing is I can actually deal extra damage to enemies next to him. So roll to hit. You're a useless piece of trash. Oh my god, the outlaw is just... I mean, he's point blank with these guys. Even with a sawed-off shotgun, he can't hit them. Yeah, I should have just had him melee them. He's just making things worse with his guns. Now to them. This time, he shot once, so they get +2 to their combat, so they're at a 3 combat instead of a 5. Better odds there. Really. Thankfully, they don't have crit rolls, but the fact that they rolled 3 6s, I could be using those. So he's going to make 3 dodge roll, and he failed one of them. He's dead. He's gone. No more revives. Can't believe this is happening. Alright, the Prospector. It's the end of their turn because Prospector didn't make any noise this round. So the Prospector is going to take a swing at the guy right in front of him. That's so crazy. So I want to take a look at the rules again, because that means that next turn, do they attack the guy next to them at least? Prioritize targets by who has the most noise markers and will not target attack a model with 0 noise markers. They also gain that. Here, when placed for an ambush attack. I'm really playing as the heroes, but normally the rules in the game are when the monsters are attacking your hero, you usually have another player roll for you. I don't have anybody here rolling for me, so I'm kind of rolling for them. Um, as far as DMing and stuff, that's really all the randomness in the game. So there's all these cards, like encounter cards, the mine tile cards and stuff. You're drawing them, and they're basically telling a story, building the world. The monsters, basically the way they work is in the actual monster card, so it'll straight up tell you how they target their targets. Most of the time, it's randomized, and they have player tokens for who's randomly being chosen. I always stuck to the rule of like, there's 2 players playing right now, or 2 characters in the game right now. You roll a d6. 1 through 3 is this guy. 4 through 6 is that guy. I always found it easier just to roll a die than just pull out some more tokens, randomize and throw out, because this game has, well, you see a few token bags here, but there is an actual box full of tokens that I refuse to use. It's just too much content to this game. Just too much. But it's so fun. Although, this is nuts. But hey, if the rolls aren't working for me, the rolls aren't working for me. But yeah, so I'm just kind of, for now, rolling for them. If I had another player with me, I would be telling them, hey, roll against me, and as I would roll against their character. And as I said, the card will tell you how they target. This one here in particular is saying that when people are making noise, If people are shooting their guns or swinging their axes or doing anything, moving too far, it's generating noise tokens. Every time the outlaw's been shooting, I've been adding. I mean, I could grab the noise tokens, but I'm just not going to do it. It's been every time he shoots, it actually adds one more than a normal noise. Is it doing its thing again? Yep. So he's been adding two noise tokens to himself. The noisier the player, the basically just turn into the target. The noisiest player turns into the target for these guys, which is a thing I'm probably going to look up because if you throw dynamite at a space, do they run to the space? It doesn't say anything in there about that. I would suspect that would be it, because then you can just kind of walk past them. The only problem I see with that is that then they're still part of the game and they're still going to be moving around, and you have to account for that. Because next thing you know, they come chasing you, and they're, I mean, they got movement 6. They're faster than the players. Yeah. So he's down. The prospector's going to attack. I don't think I rolled for his crit. And he's going to swing at them with the heavy pickaxe again. I don't really have any extra rules. This is why I kind of want to play with campaign characters. Leveling up makes such a big difference. And when you run into all these new monsters, things get crazy. Like, uh, I think we're going to die. And what's crazy is that he's standing right next to him. You would think he would attack him, but it straight up says in the rules that a player with no tokens on him. Yeah, man. Let me know when you're interested. I was talking to Hexa. Hexa wants to try the game out, and I'm going to try to build a group. But my plan is I'm going to stream it, but I'm also going to stream it to Discord. And I figured that I will project this to Discord so that you all can see the screen live and without delay. And I can put your headshots, and I have like these boxes that I put in here just for that reason. So I can put headshots in those boxes, um, or I can put character cards, character sheets. I can, there's a lot we can do with this, but I still, now that I'm playing this more, I'm seeing that there's some areas I want to move around. Like I kind of want to keep the central area open, and then move everything to the sides. Like maybe the monster cards I can put on the sides over the graphics and stuff. I don't know. There's it's this just seems to work because I want the cards as large as possible for people to be able to read them. But if we can get a group together, yeah. Moose has been joining me. We've played a couple games. Trey joined in a game with us one time. Uh, both times we got wrecked. Yesterday I got very lucky uh, when I was playing the introduction part of the game. I was kind of creating an introduction for the game, and the first mine I went into, I got stupid lucky. Ran into no monsters till I finally found the deposit of the final goal, and I fought two wraiths, and they were dangerous, but the prospector came in and just wrecked them both. Oh my god, I love that class now. And I remember at first I was thought to myself, this is kind of a weak little class, but that I mean that heavy pickaxe and his ability to do double damage on a roll of 8 is just plain stupid. And he's got a lot of health and sanity. So anyway, he botched his attack. It's now once again the end of the turn. I'm going to call it. I'm pretty sure he's dead on this turn. But it still doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to have the monsters attack him since... Or the one next to him is going to attack him since he's right next to the guy. The one next to that monster is not going to do anything until he makes noise. But that's what's weird about this whole rule thing is that they're just as slow as the prospector and they go before the prospector. So therefore, he's just going to sit there. But I figured that I'm going to try to general rule it. They can hear you breathing if you're sitting right next to them. If they're that crazy. Hey, that's awesome, bro. Yeah. So I'm trying to do this every day. Um, at times that kind of work for me, but I can also kind of maneuver. So Hexa wants to start at a certain time. We are going to talk about it later, but Hexa wants to start at a specific time. I think later in the day. I'm of course free today. Tomorrow, I think I'm free to play. Friday's a big question mark. Saturday, I'm definitely going to be doing a big game because like yesterday and today, I'm going to do 3.5, 4 hours of gameplay. Saturday, I want to start early and I want to do like a solid 8 hour, like eight, uh, well, 6 to 8 hour game, and we should be able to do quite a bit during that. And I also want to add, because I haven't been adding it, I want to add the town stay and the traveling and everything. Because right now I'm just kind of playing through mines, just playing one offs. We get done with the mine, I skip the town stay and the travel, and I go right into the next adventure, which is why I haven't been keeping track of experience. I haven't really been keeping track of money either. But what I will say though is that if y'all are playing, uh, get a piece of paper and a pencil so you can jot down your experience, how much money you've got, and the items. Because what I'm going to do is when we draw gears and artifact and all that, I'm going to have this screen over here, and I'm just going to kind of put the card there in hopes that you can read it, and then you can just kind of jot down the information as we continue. So you can like, you found a gun, and you want to add it to your arsenal. Well, there you go. I'll leave it there, and I'll probably try to zoom in on it too. But I'll leave it there so that you can like jot down that information as we continue the story and go, because I want to keep this streamlined and moving as we're adding more content to the game. It's nothing too. Is I've got I got four box. No, hold on. One, two, three, four, 7 boxes of stuff over the past year that I haven't added to this game yet. That I need to add. That I need to scan, put into this, and add to my decks. So yeah, there's a lot to go, but that's going to be a while. I figured for now everything's working perfectly fine as it is, except I do need to make some changes to the depth track. Did we do the hold back darkness? No, we did not. So hold back the darkness. Hexa, how the hell did you almost die in the shower, bro? That's a fail. Uh, man, this is getting worse. So beginning next turn, Outlaw's gone. This guy's gonna make an attack on the Prospector. Oh man, I've been there. Do you leave the water running at all when you're doing that? Because I started to do that because I got fed up with the floor being so soapy. I mean, I hate wasting water, but but anyway, so they're gonna attack the Prospector right now. They don't really have any bonuses. I'm gonna say they if there's no noise, they're still gonna go after a target. It says that they don't do it. These rules are so weird. Let's just see what the online rules lawyers say, because that is a gray area. Because if we go by the rules here, this guy does nothing. I mean, technically, this guy does nothing because he no longer has any noise markers. But I'm going to general rule it and say that because he's standing next to him, he's attacking him. And he's only attacking with one die? Yeah. Doesn't make it. I'm sorry, bro. You ought to get one of those silicon mats. Is it a silicon mat? Oh, they got those mats that you can kind of just suction to the floor, and I don't know. Those don't even work all the time either, because if the floor is soapy and the suctions move around, they tend to just lose their grip. But I think you can like clean the floor and then get those. I don't know. It's like an adhesive strip that you can put on it, and it just kind of feels like shark skin, which might not be a bad idea for my place right now. I might need that. So anyway, the prospector once again gonna roll for grit. We have been on this fight for too long. Gets his grit. That's awesome. Please kill him. And I'm gonna roll D8. Did it come up? Are you kidding me? Okay, I'm gonna re-roll that. Grit. That's a hit. Let's roll for damage. How much health does he have left? He's at 10 health. Didn't he get like a +1 health for something? No, it's just defense. Okay. So he's really just at 7 health. I mean, I could kill him if I can roll well. It doesn't even break the defense. Oh, God. What time is it? What time is it? 6:21. Well, that's the thing is that the ambush round already happened at the very beginning. Um, and either way, the outlaw shot so many shots that they went after the outlaw. Yeah, it's over. Like I am rolling piss poor for these guys. Statistically, the outlaw should have killed one of them at least by now. And the prospector, I'm rolling good on the hits, but damage, I'm rolling. Yeah, I'm rolling crap. Well, we're gonna do the whole back darkness, and I think we're just gonna escape this dungeon because at this point we have no revives, nothing. And I'm just gonna call it. This is not going well. Doubles, flipping doubles. Okay, so what happens on a double roll of 3 is. So what happens is on the darkness, if you fail the darkness test, the darkness comes out. If you pass it, nothing happens. But if you roll doubles at any point, whatever you roll doubles on, you actually have to use a depth event. And depth events tend to suck. Unless it's a 6. If you rolled 2 6s, congrats. Um, which, if I remember correctly, what I got for the depth of. If I remember correctly, I think these guys came out because of a depth event, and I happened to have rolled 2 1s. So, double threes. Creeping darkness. The darkness is always searching for a way out. Move the darkness 2 steps forward on the depth track. Wonderful. So, a darkness happens, which means we draw another darkness card. Yeah, that is it, Hexa. We're making a tactical retreat. Terror from beyond. Unspeakable evil lurks in the shadows that lay beyond the lighted gate. Ambush attack. one night terror or D3 night terrors if 5 to 6 heroes. You know what? Why not? Why not? Let's do this. Unbelievable. Okay. As you can tell, there's an awful lot of models in this game. Not really hard. Partially painted. Still got to do the base. I don't know how long ago I painted these guys. Oh, thanks, Hexa. Yeah, so at the beginning of the year, I built a whole other template that was a little way crazy animated and very cartoony. And what I did is I programmed the whole thing in OBS using the advanced scene switcher. So it's kind of a dummies. It's like a programming for dummies. And I was able to use variables and a whole bunch of different things. I can even like call from JSON files. So with the advanced scene switcher, I can actually make certain things animate, effects happen, and stuff based on uh, basically some of the stuff that you can just do in OBS, like filters and movement filters and stuff. But it is a combination of a whole bunch of things. So yeah, what I did was I spent some long days scanning cards, and I actually have the camera arm that I was using for that. But I would just have my cell phone up here, and I would just kind of I had like a little window here to give me an idea where I need to put the cards, and I would just scan, like take pictures of them, and then I have a mask that removes them from the image. Uh, so I've scanned thousands of cards. There's still a lot more. You know what? I'll show you. So I've got this big bin full of cards, and I got two more of those bins full of cards, and there's another Kickstarter coming in. And so far, I've learned that every bin has been a Kickstarter. Oh, and then of course all the extra content that I have. There's a bunch of white boxes in the back of the room that I need to open, pry apart all the models. I think I have I think I have like 8 more monster groups to add to the game when there's already over 100. Yeah, dude, it's like I tell everybody, I'm very passionate about Shadows of Brimstone. It is just such a fun game. Even when I'm playing it by myself, I'm having, even though this has been a daunting battle, I'm still having fun because it's hilarious watching these two guys suck at what they do. Specifically, this guy. This guy right here should feel shame. Point blank with dual pistols and a shotgun. Did I use the shotgun? I did. Didn't land a sing. I landed 3 hits with the pistols. And I think it was like 24 dice. 24 dice on a 5+. Only hit 3 times. But I don't know. This has always been fun. A buddy of mine named Tom, who I'm trying to get him in on the stream. He wants to do it. He's dying to do it, but he's been busy, and he might join us on Saturdays. Uh, I'm trying to get him to come over, and so we can play on Saturdays. And he wants to join in, and we used to play this religiously every Saturday, and I mean, he can definitely agree that this is probably, in our opinion, the best board game ever. There's just so much content. I mean, that's probably a drawback, is there is too much content, but all that extra content just adds more flavor to it, more randomness to it. Like this encounter deck for the mines. This is really just a very small section that I pulled out because I was just like, I just grabbed a little handful, pulled it out, put it here, because I'm not going to need the entire encounter deck. But it all just tells a story. It's like playing D&D without an actual person playing the dungeon master. And then of course the cards kind of tell you the behavior of the monsters. So an ambush attack happened. If I remember correctly, ambush rules are on this card. +2 damage. I need to pull his card out too. But yeah, I have I really should. I really should just be like, you know what? We haven't started the turn yet. We just did the hold back to darkness. I can just be like, we're done. We're walking out. But I kind of want to see the prospector die for missing all those times. Is that wrong? I feel like that's wrong. It's like, this is what you get for failing. This is what you get for failing me. Let's get his card up. So yeah, I'm using the stream deck to do all the stuff. See, I'm glad, Matters. I'm glad you agree with me, man. You know, sometimes you're just gonna be awful. You know, show it's like tough love. You know. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up. Is it Night Terrors? Yeah. So I'm gonna pull up the Night Terrors card. I'm gonna get myself a smaller keyboard just for this. I would love to program this with a JSON file to do all the monster card pullouts based on the threat cards. But there's well over 1,000 cards, and I'm like, I'm not gonna spend forever building a JSON file for that. So these are Night Terrors. Oh, well, they go before the Prospector. He's probably gonna die. And they're now a damage 6 because they get +2 because of the darkness for their ambush. Combat 4. So the Night Terrors are actually like one of the core bots, like one of the original monsters in the game. There was actually one game I played with somebody who I'm trying to get involved in. He's also a streamer. He used to be a heavy streamer back in the before the pandemic. He was always trying to pressure me into doing this, streaming board games, and I just kept saying, nah, dude, I just want to play. Uh, but he played as an orphan. But yeah, there's an orphan class, and it's hilarious. Um, you actually go through 4 stages of levels, and then you finally go to a actual class. So you get to choose what class you want to be after that, and you kind of get the benefits of being an orphan and that class. The problem is, and I've told this to everybody, if you play as the orphan, there's always, if the game is max level at 8, you can't go further than that. There's no ascension, no nothing. So you just spent 4 levels in orphan, so you get those orphan abilities, which is, some of them are pretty awesome, but you don't get to fully build up the class you chose after orphan. You only get 4 levels. So you choose a skill tree in that class and stick with it. I hear you, man. I'm the same way. Um, I like it when things actually just happen, bad or good. It's uh, when I played Dark Heresy, the D&D bros, Devin and I played Dark Heresy together with another person, and some awful and terrible events happened uh, in our first playthrough. Devin nearly turned into a demon. Right out of the box, when he was rolling his wart abilities, he rolled maximum. Oh, he first off he failed his psychic roll, then he rolled the maximum on what the outcome of that failure was, which was demon possession. And I think it took 2 rounds, Devin fighting the demon, just literally sitting there on the floor, curled up, like fighting a demon trying to possess him, while our guardman is sitting there watching this and freaking out. And I think I was playing as a tech priest, and another player was playing as an assassin, and we were like, bye. We ran off chasing the target, but it was hilarious watching Devin try to fight that off. Wait, what? Disco Fever? Oh yeah, dude, it was hilarious. Uh, you couldn't have rolled any. Well, okay, so I said yes, you could have rolled worse. He could have demon possessed, but I mean, it was just hilarious. Like first night, everything just went to hell, literally. Um, I think the funniest part of the whole thing was just seeing how it affected our guardsmen, because ever since then, it's been amazing that the guardsman, anytime he would see, it's just crazy how it worked out. So anytime you see something with a terror, you had to roll to see if you mentally can handle it or not, of course. So every time he saw anything demonic, somehow he would always roll so badly it would make him run. He would just turn around and run. Anytime you'd see anything demonic, and that lasted I don't know how many games. Every time we'd run into anything demonic, he would take off and leave. It's just amazing how the dice gods actually kind of worked that out. Like it wasn't planned. It wasn't something that was set up straight up. Every time he rolled to see if he could pass a check to a willpower check, he failed against demons, and he didn't have any buffs or debuffs against it. He just flipped. There was one time he actually ran. We spent like 2 or 3 hours getting into a facility. He was we saw a charnel demon. He got up and ran. He was out of there within like minutes. 23 on a performance check, man. Nice. 11 pints of alcohol. Wow. Were you, where were you playing as a bard? Well, while you're typing that in, I'm gonna let this night terror kill the prospector because he's attacking with 4 combat at 6 damage a pop. But it's immediately melee 5+, so that's 2 hits. No. 6 in. Oh my goodness. Really? You can go that low? Sorry, I've always like I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a 6 intelligence. Do you mean that as the amplifier or just the actual skill number? So that's 2. He needs to make 2. They didn't have any terror abilities. He does though. Uh, he's gonna make 2 tests. Dang, that's a lot of damage. He's still alive. Oh my god. Yeah. But I'm sure your charisma and your strength was great, wasn't it? Or is it charisma or is it willpower? I could have sworn it was charisma in fifth edition, right? But anyway, so he went, beat the hell out of the prospector, who now has 10 health left. Um, I'm gonna just say the creature made noise. He's flocking over there. It's a total different monster group. Actually, it's heroes. If I remember correctly, it says heroes. I think they attack models. Oh, hold on. It says heroes. So it's feels like something they should probably come out with a fact sheet on. Because I was about ready to have him march over to this guy and attack this guy. But anyway, nothing happened here except for taking 6 damage. This guy's gonna turn and still attack the prospector. Prospector doesn't have any markers on him because he hasn't been swinging or attacking. Did it wasn't take damage as well? A paladin warlock. Really? I mean, that necrotic touch, man. Actually, does paladin come with that? There's a I remember there's a blast that the warlock has that I remember witnessing at one time, and it was in fourth edition though, I think, that it just did, I don't know how many d6s of damage. Make an attack. Okay. So yeah, he's just gonna sit there, and this guy's gonna attack him. Didn't make any sounds, so again, he's attacking with one combat. 4 damage because it's not the first turn anymore. For them, they're not ambushing. Uh, Complete whip. Prospector's gonna attack him. First, we're gonna check the grit. Can't believe this. Oh my god, really, dude. Attacks with his pickaxe. I was looking at that 8 roll, spinning and spinning, and it goes to the damn 4. Still, it hits. How much damage does he have left? 7? There's no way I'm gonna be able to kill this guy. 1 point of damage. I am rolling poor. Yeah. She was your goddess? Is that what you're saying? Oh, one shot campaign. Yeah, those are a blast. I like the ones where they create some crazy special rules for the campaign. Well, not campaign, but the one shot. I had a friend who told me some weird stuff about something that dealt with mushrooms. I don't remember what it was, but it was different. I've always wanted to I've always wanted to do an evil campaign. Like I remember when I told you about Dark Heresy. Devin and I played Dark Heresy. I remember telling our DM all the time, like, dude, write us write us a Dark Crusade campaign, because they had Dark Crusade at the time, and that would mean we would play as the demons. And I'm like, how fun would that be to play as a cultist going into a town, getting like the town to worship your god, your evil, your one of the 4 one of the four demonic gods, like Corn or something, or whoever it is that you're working under. Well, if it was Corn, you wouldn't get any people to. You would just straight up kill the town. But anyway, I've always wanted to play a cultist who would go into town and just try to either force everybody to fight each other or like join our demonic cult. And then it just I've always wanted that, and I remember a group of us we were like big on that idea. It just would have been a hell of a good time. I don't know, just playing the bad guy for a change sounds like a lot of fun to me. I've had an idea for a D&D campaign for a long time where you played as villains, but the world was more like Shrek. So it's like a lot of fantasy characters and stuff, and it's wholehearted, but you're playing as bad guys. Um, and it's pretty much just like Shrek. You have a good reason why you're taking on the good guy kingdom or the heroic kingdom. I've always wanted to do that. That's awesome, Mad Arts. Yeah, it's it's kind of hard. I can understand it being difficult to keep a villain campaign rolling when a lot of the rules in the game are trying to make you a hero. And as humans, we want to help people. So I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard to role play sometimes when deep inside you want to help somebody, but you're I don't know. I guess my thing is depending on my mood, it would probably be hard to play a villain campaign or play a proper villain. Um, just out of instinct, I guess. But hmm, yeah, same here. When I played Overlord, I did the same thing, and I remember that was the game that kind of was the base of as was kind of the base of why I wanted to do it. Overlord was exactly what I wanted to make as a villain campaign because I've always loved that like fable-esque kind of atmosphere, but playing as a villain just sounded like fun. But the beauty about Warhammer compared to D&D is that in Warhammer, if you know the lore enough, and if you're playing as some demonics, like some cultists, you know exactly what you're gonna do when you go in town. If you're Nurgle, you're spreading that plague. If you're Corn, you're going in there and you are just destroying everything you see. If you're Slanesh, you're corrupting everybody, creating a giant orgy. Oh no! Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's like lighthearted and all, but my thing is like I don't know. I would have loved it if it had been like he was a good king. He was actually going to help people, and you guys slaughtered him. I don't know. I've played too many good guy campaigns that it's like the idea of playing something evil just sounds like a lot of fun. I remember telling Devin about that. Like we ought to do that one day, but I don't think we got around to it. I mean, we didn't get around to it. Prospector failed miserably. Back to the darkness check. Why isn't this working? Oh, that's cool. So you're kind of developing. So for the amnesia stuff, you're developing their skill set and everything based on what they're doing. That's pretty cool. And the roles, okay. Well, to be honest with you guys, like one thing I've been wanting to do for a long time because I remember a friend of mine told me how much fun it was. I've always wanted to do Call of Cthulhu. I've got the seventh edition books, the seventh edition everything. I got like all of it, and I've been dying to play it because I love the idea that it's not so much going out and beating on anything. It's like you are solving mysteries. Like there's all these things happening, all these crazy things happening, all these crazy characters. There's this small town that you're dealing with, and just the idea of creating a creepy atmosphere, and you all are expected to figure out: is it a cult? Is it a cult trying to bring back an ancient one? Is it a cult trying to get godly powers? It's just like all these things. It's like, and then of course the puzzle solving and everything. It just feels like it would be a lot of fun. Oh, nice. Yeah, Hexa, that's a pretty sweet idea. And then they gain their ability through that, and then you tell them to jot it down. What was that? Because fighters get that attack twice. Is it relentless attack? No, that's I think it's barbarian is what I'm thinking of. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. I like that. So they're kind of progressing with their character and everything and leveling up based on what you're giving them. That's pretty cool. Uh, we're back to roll back the darkness. Yeah, we made it. I'm just gonna say that now it's the beginning of the turn. The prospector tucks his tail between his legs, grabs a hold of the outlaw, and hauls his ass out of there as the monsters turn and question his cowardice. Oh, okay. I dig that. So there's a little bit of mystery in what is they're getting. Evil ponies, huh? All right, that's cool. So, per usual, even though I succeeded yesterday in the last dungeon, failed in this one. So once this is done, I'm supposed to be going to the travel part of the game, which I'm going to add later. So what would happen is we would each, since we failed, I think we have to roll x amount of times on disasters, and that will tell us what happens to the town stay. So, oh, also, because this guy went down, he gets an injury. Let me see if I have that sheet on me. See if I have the injury chart here. exploration. I don't think I have them yet. See, these are all charts and bits of information I'm planning on adding to the game. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Been too busy building this stream with all the 3D assets and animations and everything. Uh, I guess I'll try to find the sheets, and for next time I'll go ahead and what's this? Injury chart. Okay, cool. So since he was taken down physically, not mentally, or corrupted, there's three different ways to gain debuffs or possible buffs, and that is to either be taken down by health, sanity, or corruption. Corruption, you build mutations, which could be sometimes good, most of the time bad. If you ever get double mutations, you die. When I say double mutations, I mean two of the same one. You can never have two of the same one. If you have a quado and you get another, you roll for another quado, you're dead. And I'm not talking like incapacitated, like this guy right here. You straight up die. Now you can come back, but you have to go to town. You have to spend the money on it at a church, and it's very expensive. And sometimes it's just better to be like, you know, just kind of tear the character sheet up, put it in a casket, bury it, and be like, "See ya, fella. Start over again." But the outlaw, as he deserved, was taken down. Is going to get an injury, so we have to roll on the injury chart. And how we roll on the injury chart, we roll 2d6, and we add it up, and whatever he gets, oh my god, they can be bad and they can be good. So let's take a look and see what happens to him. Don't roll double ones. Oh, 10. On a 10, he gets a chest wound. Deep slashes run across your chest, making it hurt to turn or twist your body. It's kind of painful to even breathe. You are now -1 initiative, so he just went from 4 to a 3 initiative. That sucks. But then after that's done, during oh no, yeah, now that that's done, he gets his health back, his sanity back, and we would just kind of move on from there. So here we would do the travel. Actually, yeah, if we succeeded, we would get the rewards. And in this mission, if we failed, let's see if I can pull up the stats on. Come on, man. Okay. So on a failure on this mission, if the heroes fail the mission, the darkness escapes the mines and wreaks havoc upon the countryside and neighboring towns. When the heroes travel to a frontier town, which is what we would do after we do uh, the travel phase of the game. But when the heroes travel to a frontier town before the next adventure, D3 random buildings there will have been destroyed by the escaping darkness. So if we went to a small town, I bet you all the buildings would probably be destroyed. Because I think there's only 3 or 4 buildings that are there. If we rolled three, rolled a 5 or a 6. But anyway, so we'd go back to town. We'd roll to see how many buildings are destroyed, and then the town stay in its own is another adventure in a way because a lot can happen there. As I said yesterday and before and earlier, a lot could happen in town. One, you are spending your day going to different shops, uh, gambling if you want to go gambling. You can take if we have the right building or the right town stay elements, you can actually go on a heist. Is it a heist? Well, not a heist. You can go on you can rob a bank. Is what happens. But there are other missions that can happen while you're in the town. Uh, Other bad things can happen too. The end of every day that you stay there, something can happen, and it could be good, could be bad. Most of the time, it's bad. There was one time where a buddy of mine, well, Tom, we were on our last day there. It was seriously the sixth because there's 6 days you can spend at a town. We were on our very last day because we needed to sell everything we had. We wanted to upgrade our weapons because that's where you can actually upgrade your weapons. And as I showed yesterday, some of your items and weapons will have upgrade slots. And if you find Darkstone, which we have 7 pieces, we just haven't gone to a town yet. But you can take your Darkstone and actually upgrade your weapons. Sometimes you'll find like something to imbue into your weapon on an adventure, like maybe like a type of flame stone that you imbue on this, and now it adds like 2 points of fire damage on top of the attack. But it would require Darkstone to usually add it to the weapon. Darkstone's also bad because I forgot to do that at the end of every adventure. You roll to see which Darkstones corrupt you, and we have 7 pieces right now, and the Prospector is holding on to all of them. So I have to roll for that. So we roll for all 7 pieces with a sanity of 5 plus. He's already got a corruption on him. He failed 4. So here's a part of the game that's interesting. So mutations. He hit his cap on mutation. So these would be removed, but he gets a mutation. I don't know if I have that chart. Part of me thinks I do. I could have sworn I scanned it because I remember it being very important. But I really don't think I scanned it yet. Um, Charts. Maybe I do. Page 58. So on page 58, that's travel hazard. So that would these travel hazards would have happened right before we went back to town. Mutations though. Here we go. So roll a D36. I'm guessing that's 2D3s. Yeah. So D36. 11 to 16, 21. So I'm guessing that's 2D6, and we just kind of. So this is going to be the first number. I'm going to have to make a new set of dice just to be like, what's in the tenths? And this will be in the tenths. So 6. That's not good. So 62. So we rolled a 62. Oh, wonderful. So what happened to the Prospector is, I'm guessing the Darkstone radiation straight up just burnt his nose off. You are in bad shape. All of your town location event chart rolls are -1 to the roll. So I guess people are just disgusted by you for missing your nose. That's location event charts are -1 rolls now. Wow. So he's missing a nose, the Prospector. So that's gonna be. I'm gonna say that's gonna be it for today. Tomorrow is Thursday, so yeah, I'll go. Tomorrow I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do with these guys. I might add another adventurer to even the playing field a little bit, because these ambush attacks against 2 guys are a little bit on the difficult side. Although I have to admit, I probably made a couple poor moves myself. Constantly using those pistols just made them so tough that the Prospector, well, actually, either way, I was rolling 1s on my Prospector and 2s on my Prospector, so didn't really matter. Geek Out, what's up, buddy? Playing a little bit of Shadows of Brimstone, man. You ought to join in sometime. I kind of got Mad Arts and Hexa interested in doing this. Uh, but if you want to know more about it, it's basically the Old West meets Lovecraftian horror and Asian mythology and Norse mythology. Just the whole mishmash of stuff. Oh, and I forgot to mention the new Kickstarter is currently in its pledge stage. It's open post pledge stage, so we're getting another Kickstarter that's adding even more content to this game, which is already plenty. And it's adding Egyptian mythology as well as what they're calling the Hell Train expansion, which I am very excited for. Oh, nice, man. Oh, thanks, bro. I've actually got like on the stream, I've actually got like just about everything planned out and not everything scanned, but like I've pretty much got like a lot of cards set up on this. I'll show you how many I have scanned, how many card pieces I have scanned. Let's see. Uh, there we go. Is that all? So yeah, there's all these cards I have set up for this game: monster cards, darkness cards. Like basically, all these elements in this game kind of just add to the randomness that happens throughout it. So it kind of it's like D&D. It tells a story as you go with these encounter cards. The whole world builds itself based on tile cards. We fight. There's over 100 different monster types. So if you're ever interested, let me know. I'm trying to set up some game time. I think Saturdays is probably going to be best for some people. Um, I'm going to try to do a 6 hour session so that we can get like 2 or 3 adventures in, like dungeons. And if we can get that rolling, then I'm going to skip just using the generic cards and actually have us play with actual custom characters where you create the name, you choose the class, create the name, you level up, go down skill trees. Um, it gets bonkers at a certain point. Uh, but yeah, if you're into, I mean, I know you're into all of it, but like sci-fi and all the stuff I told you this game has, like it can be a blast. It can be daunting. Like this whole session, I've been fighting these 3 monsters, and I've been just rolling like piss, which is typical. But anyway, I'm gonna call that. Yeah, it's like I said, man, it's a blast. This stream is pretty much dedicated to this, but there's gonna be days where I might just clear the table out, just do some painting, and there might be some days where I might just pull a different board game out. Like I don't know if you're familiar with Fantasy Flight, but they make games like the Arkham Horror series, Eldritch Horror. Um, there's like a few other games that they put together. They mostly stick to card games now, but they had some pretty killer board games. And then of course you got Simon that have Zombicide, Massive Darkness. I might pull those out as well. But for now, my main thing is kind of making people, gifting people Shadows of Brimstone, because I feel like this is like one of the most underrated games ever made. But I'm gonna go ahead and go back here. Mm, there we go. So, uh, again, the sounds you're hearing in the background are from Sirenscape. They're a great audio, uh, ambient sound app that you can use for D&D board game sessions. Definitely recommend it. I've been using it for the past year. It's great. Uh, they have so many different sounds. They have from like Lovecraft, Cthulhu to they have sci-fi sound, sci-fi music, and then of course a whole fantasy setting. And they have pretty much the entire D&D catalog in there for all their campaigns. Uh, Other than that, I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you all for joining, and I'm gonna go ahead and see about rating. If I can pull up the tab. There we go. And who do we got? Got Texie88 playing Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid the board game. Wow. Eternal Champions. Yeah, we'll go to Texie88 for Metal Gear Solid. But again, thank you all for coming out. I'll catch you all later. Matter of fact, I might see the rest of you probably in the D&D Bros, or if Shock's on or Mad Arts you're going to be streaming tonight, I'll probably just jump in and hang out. Same thing with Geek. Uh, but I'll catch you all later, and thanks for showing up. And I'll catch you tomorrow. Whoops.
Right, so that stays put because he didn't roll an exclamation mark just then. So that's all 4 characters done. So guard order card. So is there a guard within 2 spaces of any player character? Well, Maryland and Grey Fox are okay. Snake's okay. Let's look at Otacon. Yeah, none of them within 2 uninterrupted spaces. Cameras change direction. 2 in a right. Oh, bloody hell. 1, 2. We can't turn right because there's a wall there, so the only new path in take is this way, which means that unfortunately Grey Fox has been spotted anyway. Oh no, hang on. Just realised that's not correct. He'd be going this way to investigate this noise as he was nearest to it, so he's landed on this knocked out guard, so we need to do a guard reaction. So this time it's this one we look at. Hey, wake up. Remove the knocked out guard, spawn 1 guard in its place. So I've got to get another guard from the stash. It's actually simpler than you might think. So I'm going to have him facing that way so he doesn't walk over that. Well, thanks for the raid, TNT Tabletop. Hope you had a good stream. Welcome, Mad Arts Treasures. So for those who've just joined from TNT Tabletop's stream, I'm Texie_88 from the UK. More often than not, I stream video games, but at the moment, more recent times, I've been doing board games as well. And what we're taking a look at here is the Simon published 2024 board game Metal Gear Solid, the board game, which is an adaptation of the 1998 PlayStation video game of the same name. It's a cooperative board game for 1 to 4 players. So welcome to my channel, everyone. So that guard's already moved. That guard doesn't because of the guard priority token. So this guard's the only one in this area that hasn't moved yet. So they'll be moving 2 and he'll be moving 2 and prioritising turning right. 1, 2. So he's landed on one of these turn arrows and turns right. Actually, no, he was investigating the noise made by Snake earlier, so he'll be going this way. He's investigating this. So that's all the guards in that area done. So now we just deal with the ones in this floor. So 2 and a right. Yeah, 1, 2. I do have a physical copy of the board game, but when I noticed it was in Tabletop Simulator, I decided to try it out on this. 1, 2. Can't turn right, so it has to turn left. 1, 2. 1, 2. Turn. So that's all the guards in that area done. So now for this area. This guard first. 1, 2. Turns right. 1, 2. 1, 2. So that's all the guards in. That's all the guards totally done. So everyone, all 4 characters take back their action tokens. Just to clarify, I'm playing this as if it were a 4-player game. Normally, in a 1-player game, you'd only be controlling 1 character, but I decided to play it as if it were a 4-player game. So all 4 of the controllable characters are in play. So the characters that are controllable are Solid Snake, Meryl Silverberg, Grey Fox, and Hal Otacon Emmerich. And unlike a lot of other board games, players don't have to take their turns in the same order every round. We can actually choose which order you go in. Yes, the difficulty does fluctuate on player number. And the direction that enemy guards face does matter. So this one, for instance, is facing all the way over to the left, so he can see all these spaces. So if, for example, Snake was here, because he's behind the guard, he wouldn't see him. But unfortunately, he's not behind the guard, so he can't do that. Thanks for the follow. I think I'm just going to have to cause Snake to dip into this room. So he's going to sneak for 1. That allows him to move 1 space orthogonally. And then he's going to do the same action for his second one. Because he can't go further up because this guard here has clear line of sight to that square. So if he went there, then that guard would see him and set off the alert. I don't really want to do that. So I'm not going to use Snake's last 2 actions, so that's Snake done. Otacon is going to try and hack this computer terminal again. Otacon's the only one who can hack computer terminals, so hack terminal. So this allows him to roll 4 black dice. And we're trying to get 6, 6, 6, 6. So he's got, so one of these is a 6, so we'll keep that to one side. And we're going to use his +or -1 to turn